Well, I'm delighted to say that Cameron Walker joins me now in the studio, fresh from those awards last night. And I suppose the question that many people at home will be having is, how is this relevant to our lives? We're facing a cost of living crisis. Heating bills are going through the roof. Many people are having to choose between heating and eating. Doesn't it look a little bit out of touch for the Prince of Wales to be gallivanting around talking about saving animals and species in Africa?
Well, that was one of the points which the Prince of Wales made in his speech, Tom. He acknowledged the fact that the world is going through very tough times at the moment, but he said we mustn't forget the fact that there is a real threat going on to wildlife in Africa, but that in turn affects the local communities and local livelihoods of people on the ground having to deal with things such as drought or a lack of funds to improve their livelihoods. So the whole point of Tusk, the charity who was focusing on these awards last night, is all about empowering communities to see how, by protecting the nature and the natural world around them, their livelihoods will actually be improved through things like tourism, rather than destroying habitats for farming and indeed poaching as well, and the illegal wildlife trade. So the awards last night, it's the 10th anniversary of the awards. It brought back alumni from the last 10 years who have continued to make a real difference across the continent of Africa. As you saw, Achilles in the in my piece there, but there was also a number of others who were there last night. One successfully brokered peace between two rival tribes in Kenya, and it's now a conservation model for community conservation. Another has doubled Rwanda's grey-crowned crane population, which is a big endangered bird. Gorillas have been protected from COVID-19 through another project that's been going on. And of course, we saw that there was a star-studded event last night. Stanley Johnson, the Prime Minister's father...
Former Prime Minister's father.
Former Prime Minister's father was
We've been through so many Prime Ministers recently, it is hard to... But it is... I suppose it is interesting looking at the international element of this. Clearly, the Commonwealth is something that the royal family holds very dear. It was the Prince of Wales' grandmother's big, I suppose, a huge element of her life, something she saw that was so important to her role. Is this the modern royal family focusing importantly on so many of those African countries and indeed countries elsewhere in the world that people may worry, may drift away from the Commonwealth following the demise of Her late Majesty?
Well, it's the modern royal family having an influence on the whole world, Tom. I think you're right that the Queen was very passionate about the Commonwealth. The King now is, and I'm sure the Prince of Wales is, as we can see from projects he's doing like Tusk and the conservation work he's doing, place a huge importance on the Commonwealth and maintaining the Commonwealth. And we're not talking about the Commonwealth of the 1950s, where Britain was arguably still a bit of an empire. This is a family of nations who come together for causes to make people around the world's lives a lot better. So that's kind of the idea of the Commonwealth nowadays, which is why there's a particular focus on Africa, and perhaps by restoring nature, protecting nature in 10, 20 years' time, when the Prince of Wales eventually becomes king, or indeed slightly longer, Africa will be in a much better position than it currently is.